My name is Bob Rupert, and we're here today at the Southside Historic Village Association on site in the Johnson Log Cabin. And we're going to talk a little bit about our vision for our village and its use. We have behind me a plot plan developed by J. Eccles for the use of the village, which encompasses about 2 acres. And that would be colored in green, as you can see. The architectural firm is one in Pittsburgh that has done some of the Dick's department stores and Waterworks Mall. And Mr. Eccles is on our board. So he drew this up so that we would have more of a visual aid of what will be in the future. And I'll kind of go over some of those things so you look at, can understand what is here. The original site started out with the Mercer School. And it was one of the first things that was moved. And it was moved by Mr. Hopkins from Washington County. And it was placed here on the site. And the next 2 things were the girls and boys outhouses and the coal shed. And once that was completed, we have a small entrance area here that has the name of the village and its inception in 1995, and the Lincoln Highway marker, and a few other artifacts. And as we move down from there, you'll see the Ross rake, which is placed here. And you'll also see the next piece that was brought was the Porter Blacksmith Shop. And this blacksmith shop came from Ohioville. And it is a real important piece of this pie that we're trying to display here, because we do educational classes in the blacksmith shop for a number of schools and colleges in the area. And the Pittsburgh Area Artists and Blacksmith Association also does events in that building. And during the fair, we do demonstrations during the fair. And you move further west from there, you'll see the power hammer, which is a Niles Bement. And it is part of the display of ironwork. Basically, it came from Weirton Steel. And it was brought here about 2004, I think, or 2 or 3 or 4. It was mounted here as a display. And then as you move around circular fashion to the Boyd Covered Bridge, which is a converted corn crib, this has been completed this year. And it's a walk-through covered bridge now, been converted from a corn crib. And there are flowers planted in front, and it's not, the building's almost completed, but the use of it is not. We wanted to see this go across the creek back here. However, that wasn't possible at the time, and that may get changed as time goes on. And if you move on around in circular fashion, the next piece that you'll see, which we put up today, which is September the 16th, Cooper & Cooper, major structural iron company here in Hookstown, came over and erected the Chapman oil derrick. And it now sits where the doctor's office is displayed here. This was a change in the plot plan. We felt that it was it was better for us to place it lower down because we wanted to save the drier ground for the doctor's office. So these 2 have been switched. This was put up today. It will be cemented in probably next week. And the piers for the doctor's office will be placed where it is now, where it's shown in this picture. And then if you move up forward, you'll see a church. And the church is a building that Bill Mercer had talked about years ago, that's down in Congo on the Quaker State property. And we've made contact with them just recently, and we're waiting for their decision whether this will be moved here or not. And then back to the Johnson cabin where we are right now. And if you move further south along this road, you'll find the Seawright Barn. And this is another key factor in the village. is that it is a bank barn, and the Fair Board and the Historic Society decided it would be best placed on a bank. So he's drawn it here on the bank on this road, and it now rests on the main highway up here, and Wayne Seawright came last Saturday and donated the barn, and it's supposed to be moved. Progress towards its move should be done within a year's period of time. So we had Mr. Hopkins come this morning and take a look at the barn and give us his expertise in moving, because he did move the school. What the barn could be used for, and what we're hoping, is the infrastructure be placed in the basement of the barn. And that would allow for not only artifacts from the community to be placed in the upper portion, but to have facilities in the basement for the 4-H and all the other groups that use the fairgrounds. The Boy Scouts of America, the 4-H groups, the blacksmith associations, and many other uses. The facilities that could be placed in the basement of this would allow for that use. So this is a key factor. It also says gift shop and restroom. So it possibly could become somewhat of a gift shop if this working village continued to grow throughout the years that in its existence. My main intent as a president is to make sure that we follow three major things. And one of them is tourism, the second one is education, and the next one is community. And if we can follow those three things, I think it will progress like it has this past year. Bill Mercer had a vision years ago, and he got us started with the school and a few other things. But now what I'm looking at now is a use for the facilities. And that use comes in education for the first one, and community and tourism. Obviously people want to come and actually view and experience what it was like 100 years ago. You can come and have the experience totally in this style of a village. It's almost like going to Williamsburg, but it's in your own backyard. We're trying to involve Southside School now with senior class projects to do our websites and many other groups as we progress forward, so that we have all the trades represented in the village. So hopefully we have metals, we have education now. There'll probably be fabric in the Johnson building. The doctor's office will obviously be a doctor's office, and we'd like to see clay, glass, and a few other trades represented, wood, in the village, and have organizations work in those trades. So that's kind of our vision, at least it is my vision, to see that happen. And I'm trying to persuade the rest of us to look at those visions, to have garden clubs come here and put in herb gardens, and for those things to happen, have high teas here, and it could be a focal point for the community. So that's our vision. I hope you have an opportunity to come and visit. We're not asking you to actually do anything, but if you do visit, you may find something that you're interested in here that you may want to participate in the future. So there you have it, our sort of walkthrough of the Southside Historic Village Association's working village. And thank you so much for viewing this video.